frame. I forgot to hit recording, so let me hit that again. So this is Brazil on dailies. We're looking at Brazil in a critical state. Here's the yellow zone. And on the upside, if it breaks above this 3080, we're looking for a return, a test of the 10-day high. Fails out of the yellow zone, looking for a target down here around 29. So that puts Brazil in a critical state here. Gives us a favorable reward to risk ratio in both directions. That makes it a high priority target. Let's see if we can get tan on here. Let's take a look at the solar. See, tan, the whole solar sector is coming out of this sideways quiet channel down here at pattern 5 from 33 up to 45. It's sort of tracking the market condition here with a sharp pullback and then a couple days of recovery. But the recent resurgence in that sector suggests there's still more room available. Although I think maybe that FSLR offers a better, because this looks like almost fully valued right here. So let's compare that to the FSLR. And you can see here that FSLR offers more room to this to the recent swing high. Although you can see there's quite a bit of volume that it's got to get through here at 63. Failure out of here, though, can take it down to 49. So again, we have a trade that's in a critical state, can go in both directions. All right, let's take a look at DuPont. Now, DuPont is finding a nice amount of support here at 71.5, where it has found support the last 2 times. A ton of support built in here. This is a Z pattern. You can see it's been out of the floodplain, re-entering the floodplain here. We got to enter this not later than entry of the river, with a target at Bollinger Band mean and the far side of the river. So there's a little price ladder. But I think inside this zone here, there's opportunities for the intraday trade available as well. So I'm looking for trying to front run the entry into the floodplain. So if there's any kind of evidence of improvement in DuPont, I will continue to trade that one intraday. You can see the volatility has sort of left the building. So this is a favorable, this 1-2 bottom here. As long as it opens higher than Friday's low and then takes out Friday's high, I'm ready to get long in here with an initial target of the edge of the river, and then the Bollinger Band mean for 2, and the first side of the river for 3. So DuPont's going to continue to be interesting. Let's take a look at Microsoft and Alcoa. These are two that were on the RLFF. We'll start with Alcoa. You can see just how painful the move in Alcoa has been. But that's what sets up the potential for gains here. It was a very weak close. So in Alcoa then what we have is sort of an auto short at 1266, but an auto long. It takes out the high, and then we're looking for near side of the river, the 90-period regression line, and then higher up to the Bollinger Band mean. Now there's a lot of activity, a lot of resistance it's got to get through, and here represented by the dragon. So you would not be wrong waiting to see have an auto buy here at about 1314, with the idea that if it clears this congestion, it gets through this all this volume, that you could then play it long with a stop down here or even a stop here, and get long right here. So auto short on new lows. You could either play the intraday play and front run the move, the Z trade, or wait for it to get to the edge of the river. That's probably the safer trade to take. Let's take a look at Microsoft now. Microsoft in much the same state as Alcoa here, just making the strong double bottom. Lots of support here at 41. A lot of support being based here, and you can see from this triangle, this move all the way back to the Bollinger Band mean at 43. There's about $2 of upside in it, and so I can take this as the yellow zone. Breakouts above yesterday's high or Friday's high. You can play long with the idea of getting to the Bollinger Band mean, and then breakdowns out of the low can be shorted. But there is certainly some buying interest here. I take this big sell-off here to be part of the, that was the market sell-off. Although I will say there was additional selling in Microsoft because the market actually had a 1-2 bottom, but this is not a 1-2 bottom in Microsoft. It got weaker and closed weak. So on evidence of additional weakness in Microsoft, if there's a weak market and tech is weak and Microsoft is weaker than the Qs, then Microsoft is a legitimate short side target. Okay, I think the last one I want to look at is XLF. That was the financial. Okay, so what we can see here is how far the traders are able to pull it away from its long-term fair value. So we treat this purple line here, this bright pink line, that's the RL 270. That's the long-term fair value. It's hardly budged. And how far have they been able to pull it away? Well, on this retrade, they got it down this far. On this one, they got it that far. On this one, they got it this far. In all those cases, price came back to rejoin the 270 regression line. So as a trade frame, we can now say if this turns out to be support just like this was, this is actually a favorable condition in finance with a low and then two higher lows that held and two strong upward pressure on buying. So I can buy XLF at 24 with a stop with about a 30-cent stop, which is an automatic stop and reverse too, because if this fails, then we're getting down to this volume spike, then this one, and then coming down to test this price level. So there's three price levels on the downside. We have the Bollinger Band mean, the far side of the river, and then the upside of the river there. So I really like that trade frame there in XLF. That's The triple leveraged version of this is that FAS-FAZ yin-yang pair, and that looks to me to be a favorable location in either direction for this week ahead. All right, so that's everything I wanted to look at. Oh, I'm sorry, there are a couple other ones that came out of the BMR for the S&P 500 I will look at. Let's look at the Urban Outfitters, URBN. I don't usually look at individual companies, but this is just one that got my attention. All right, so that's what it takes to find something that has that's a lot stronger than the rest of the S&P 500. I like the price action here on Friday. This is very favorable, held at the outside of the river. So this is not something that's even down here around fair value. And notice that fair value just started to roll up. If it can get above 47, this thing is free and clear and off it goes. So Urban Outfitters still has more room to go. Glad we stopped to look at that one. But then again, on the failure, then it's back down to the Bollinger Band mean. If it fails here, the next targets are Bollinger Band mean, far side of the river, and then the RL 270. So nice trade in either direction. A critical state in Urban, URBN. And then I want to take a look at KSS. And this was Kohl's. This was also highlighted in the BMR. This is part of that strength in the U.S. retail space. Breaks out a sideways quiet channel, gets above this one, and off it goes on a pattern 5. It's had really 3 higher lows. And I think, again, if it takes out 76.50, off it goes. And then failure here goes to the Bollinger Band mean, far side of the river, and then to the long-term fair value. So again, you have a target that's in a critical state. So lots of good things to look at for the week ahead. Keep your risk measured and your powder dry. This is a market where you have real choices and you don't have to participate, and that gives you a significant edge. So take good care. Pending any final questions, that's the report review for tonight. All right, seeing no questions, take good care, guys, and we'll see you in the chat room.